Vendée Globe, le retour des skippers avec Enedis, le gestionnaire du réseau électrique.
Hello. Hello, Benjamin. I hope I don't have to do a monologue or else it's going to be really short. So, yes. We wanted to ask you an essential question. How is Flaggy? Did Flaggy enjoy his round the world? Oh, I forgot him. So every time I lose him every time. So please, everyone, applaud Flaggy. So Flaggy was hiding all the time during these 3 months, and I was fed up. It's already a performance to bring Flaggy back completely intact. Yes, it's a big performance. So how do you feel today after these 80 days at sea? It's quite undescribable. A multitude of feelings, huge feelings. The last 3 days seemed really, really long for me, and for the rest of the race, I was really into the competition, and it went quite fast. But these last 3 days were very long and enabled me to think about many different things. So now what I feel like is, emotionally speaking, it's incredible, and pride to have achieved this challenge in such little time with such a great team. We often say that the Vendée Globe, you have a first victory when you're already on the start line. So for you, it was difficult to find partners. It was incredible to take the start, and your initial plan had to be rethought. Yes, it's a great challenge to be at the start of the Vendée Globe, and as I have always said, if you start, then why not finish? And you have to stay concentrated. At the beginning, everybody was congratulating us even before we took the start and we were on the boat. But we tried to stay concentrated because the objective was to reach the finish. So I use the we term because it's really a team that did all this work. It's the work of our team. I also include in there the family, our partners, because our partners are small and medium-sized enterprises with a human size. And to have them with us in a small human team also makes it a great family. And we supported each other and went all the way through with this challenge. So altogether, we proved that you can do big things when you combine efforts and go all the way. You finished this Vendée Globe in the top 10, so 9th position, about 30 hours after the winner. Of course, you have a great track record in Figaro, but were you expecting such a result and to be in this match during such a long time? Yes, I expected to be in the match at the beginning because there was a long of a close-hauled navigation, and I was telling myself, if I have to show what I'm able to do, it's now, because after there will be reaching conditions and that will be more favorable for faster boats. So I didn't have much time to get to know my boat. So along the race, I found many qualities to it, and I learned how to run it well, to steer it well. And I told myself, yes, we had a really good start, and if we continued and tried to continue, we could manage. So we were 4th at Cape Lewin, and then I told myself, maybe we can go further and we can go all the way if we continue strongly. So with the boat, we surpassed ourselves from the beginning to the end, giving the best of ourselves by trying not to put too much pressure on ourselves and to navigate well and do nice trajectories. And I wanted to hand in a nice copy. So I wasn't thinking of doing a top 10. Of course, what pleased me a lot was to be in contact with Jean Le Cam. He made me dream when I was a kid. I called him the old one when I was on the boat, and I said the oldie is not going to let go. And it's true that it was incredible to have this regatta against a man that made me dream as a child and with such talent. So with Damien also, it was really fun. And with Boris also, and I love regattas. I'm a competitor, and that's what made me enjoy a big part of the race. So you communicated a lot. You went close to the AMSA zone. You spent a couple of hours do you have some sentences that came from these relationships? Yes, with these different skippers. I don't know all of them. The only one I was not able to contact was Jean Le Cam. I think he didn't want to get out of his bubble, and I think every one of us wants something different from the Vendée Globe, and he wanted maybe his solitude. I discussed a lot with Boris and Maxime Sorel. And there are some relationships between skippers that were built also with Damien. So before the networks WhatsApp, it was difficult. It was almost impossible to support each other. And maybe we're in the new generation of skippers that support each other, but we're still competitors, huh? I think we had a good lineup. People were close together. So I understood that it's always interesting to be the first on the pontoon so that you can wait for the others. So questions? I just wanted to deliver a message, if it's possible, before the questions. I wanted to say that with Flaggy, we had a lot of actions with the Water family happening with visio conferences in schools and classrooms. The organization was able to have some action in over 95 schools. So it was incredible. We couldn't do 95 video conferences, but we did quite a few. And it made the children dream, and they were sensitized to protection of the water, and it was part of our project. So I was rather happy to have this in addition to the performance, and not to have left this aside because I was in the match. So it was something important to my eyes. Nicolas Houleux also supported you. Yes, it was incredible to have a discussion with Bilou, with Nicolas Hulot. It was quite interesting. Then after that being said, I'm not a politician. I am a sailor, and I just want to share my experience and my experience of real things. So these discussions were quite constructive and really pleasant, and it gave me some energy to see all these children supporting us and sending us smiles and encouragements. Thank you, Flaggy, for this. Hello, Benjamin. We spoke together last June, and you told me that us sailors, you always think that we never doubt, but in this it's difficult. I have some depressing moments. At any moment, did you feel that you couldn't do this, take the start of the Vendée Globe? Yes, I think I thought that more than once. I think the sailor who says that he had no doubts from beginning to the end, I would like to know how it's possible. Some phases are so complex. We're tired. We have difficulties overcoming some periods that sometimes you just want to let go. And it's in those moments that you need video conferences with those schools and smiles, and to realize the amount of work that that was done with your team and your partners, and keep going. Whatever the problem is energy, sale, or maybe you were slower on attack and you lost 4 positions. The fact of having team and partners behind you, it enables you to keep good morale and to do the race in the best way possible. You are an example of what we can do with a lot of determination and a small budget, so that maybe people realize what you went through. Could you give us the budget of this project and the number of people who helped you and your team and who worked day after day? So the number of persons, a lot of people gravitated around the project. First of all, partners who enabled us to finance the boat and the race. You also had patrons who enabled us to pay for the actions in the schools. There were a lot of people around this project. For the christening of the boat, I don't remember how many we were, but we were a lot of people, and those were the important players in the project. So yes, we built this project with a small budget and a team of partners. The budget went from 5,000 to 100,000 euros. So a total of about 500 or 600,000 euros. So that's very low for Vendée Globe over 2 years, with Transat Jacques Vabre last year also. So all the steps that we had to overcome. We received the boat about 1.5 years ago. It arrived in a kit, as a kit from Japan, having to build a mast, do the Jacques Vabre, come back, repair the boat, and prepare the boat to do the qualifying race for the Vendée Globe. Then find some new partners, lose some, and find some new ones. So a multitude of efforts has been done, and we never stopped thinking that it would be possible. So it can give an example for people who would like to do it. You don't always succeed, but it's a good example of people who fought for this and went all the way through. Sorry, I'm a little bit embarrassed. When you achieve such a performance with a non-foiler, does it make you want to come back on the race with a latest generation boat? I really don't know what it means, a latest generation boat or before latest generation. The boat that has won is not a latest generation boat. I think you just need a boat that is adapted to the Vendée Globe, latest generation or not. The fact of doing a Vendée Globe gives you the best idea of what would be the most suitable boat. But I think many teams think about this. A lot of development has been done recently on fuels. Maybe it has gone too far. Maybe opinions will be different from one person to the next. The evolution in sailing is important. Yes, of course. I would like to think about this project, but maybe in 2 days I'll tell you not at all, and I want to go in the countryside and become a shepherd. But today, as of today, the race motivated me a lot. I took a lot of pleasure in it, and so yes, why not? And to have seen the skippers, the front runners fighting in front and having been part a little bit of this fight. It gives me a lot of motivation. In terms of your image, you appeared as an adventurer who wanted to go all the way through with this project. And when we look at the Figaro, it's the same Dutreux who was in the fifth. You go from an adventurer to a regatta specialist. First of all, I'm not an adventurer. I'm a competitor. I've always said it. And even if I had an older boat and I didn't expect such a result, I was doing the Vendée Globe not for an adventure, but to give it all I had and to finish in the first of my generation boats. If I went through Figaro and all this, it's because what motivates me is competition. Maybe I wouldn't have experienced the same Vendée Globe if I had been at the middle of the peloton between two groups. Maybe I would have experienced a great Vendée Globe in a further group. But what I like is to surpass myself and to give the best possibilities in performance. So maybe if I had been alone and I had experienced this Vendée Globe alone, maybe more in an adventurous way, I would not have lived it in the same way. I'm not sure I answered the question, but... So, hello, Benjamin. Congratulations. You gave us a lot of emotions, and including on this this channel passage. About the damage that you have on your J2 and on your engine, could you tell us more about it? I would maybe need to take my spreadsheets to give you the list of damage, because it starts from something very light to more important ones like the J2 and the engine. There are so many that that I've learned a lot about the Vendée Globe on this, is that you have to know how to do handiwork really well if you want to win the Vendée Globe, or at least be in the front runners. You have to know how to move forward while repairing, and that is difficult. That was that put me in difficulty. Sometimes I couldn't see the end of all these repairs to do, and that was complicated for me, but it's part of the race. You have to be a little bit like MacGyver, and I suppose all the other skippers had a lot of breakage or damage also, but the damage I had were repairable. So considering the weather that we had, I think we all did a great job, because everything that was not repairable, we ticked it, and apparently it held on. I did not have huge problems on my boat. I don't know if you have knowledge of the problems that Jean experienced. So for about since the Kerguelen Islands, he had a delaminated boat, and he was his principal competitor. Yes, I thought there was a problem, because I overtook him. He was very slowed down, so either the old guy was sleeping, he's tired, and it didn't really resemble him, or else I told myself there's a problem. And he didn't answer on the VHF when I overtook him, so I didn't know what he had. So I heard a little bit about this, but I don't really know what precise problem of delamination he had. So I saw him at 19 knots a few days ago in the Bay of Biscay, so apparently it didn't slow him down too much. Benjamin, congratulations, bravo. You spent more than 80 days at sea. So your experience before doing this Vendée Globe on Nimeka and solo was not really big. How do you see the evolution of the way you navigated during this whole course? So to be completely honest, it's my second race in solo. The first was the conveyance on the boat alone after the Transat Jacques Vabre to come back. Then I spent a lot of time in a false solo mode. It's probably where I learned the most, because somebody tells you what you should be doing or not be doing. But I am an old sailor. I started with a Spirit as a Figaro racer quite impatient for any settings or any details, and I've become a much more mature person in the way to trim my boat, to change the sails, to think. I think the Vendée Globe has enabled me to calm down, because I lost a lot of energy at some points, and to maneuver a boat like this alone is not easy. Yesterday night in 30 knots, it was difficult to tack. So the stress reduced all along. I made some mistakes. The batten's upside down. The bottom of the boat having water in it. Yes, I made some mistakes, but little by little I learned. And I learned by managing this with a calmer attitude and thinking about it before each sail change. I decided to have a coffee or to go to the toilet before doing things, before deciding. When I left, I changed my sails a lot, and after 2 days I was exhausted, and it was not actually really useful. So I think I have earned more maturity in the way to navigate, but it's not easy to be serene on this type of race, because there's a permanent stress on this boat. You don't even know what's happening in front. You're shaken up all the time. A new track mapping arrives at 7 p.m. You see Jean Le Cam at 19 knots. So you try to keep this pace. And it's really stressful. The most difficult is to sleep during this world of stress. You find moments, but to be able to sleep when the boat is going really fast, and if you have just bore down suddenly before, the difficulty is to be able to rest with the stress of a boat going that fast. So progressively I found some small methods. Can you develop these, expand on these methods that you found, or is it top secret? No, there's nothing top secret. Probably my methods don't suit another skipper anyways. But for example, I was thinking of doing 20-minute nap and getting up after 20 minutes, then going to check outside and then come back and sleep again 20 minutes. That I completely gave up. During complicated periods, I slept much less. And the periods I slept, I could sleep during 4 or 4 hours to sleep deeply and rest. So, for example, these methods completely involved. And in moments of stress, I try to relax and breathe and find some comfortable positions. And, for example, sleep with the feet facing the bow. It's more comfortable. So there are little things like this that could reduce the stress. You speak a lot about regatta and pushing the boat. What happened more of in your head in terms of existential aspects? Yes, of course, you have a lot of time on these races to think. There are some phases where the tacks are really long. You can't sleep, but so you think, or you play a Sudoku, or you think about things. But often I thought about things that brought me back in the next regatta to come. Every time I was thinking about something, another idea came, and I had to check and find a solution. So in the end, it was often about the race. Benjamin, I would like to talk about your background. For example, the Team Vendée Formation, the training center, where you spent several years. And now that you have used this training could you give advice about specific aspects of preparing Vendée Globe? When you were in this training school, it was mostly Figaro. Yes, I had a very a course that was really in Pays de Loire. I started in Ile-Dieu, and then I went in sports school in Fromentine. That's where I learned how to race in regattas. After that, I was lucky enough to be in a sportive curriculum in Les Sables, then in Nantes at university with some of my former crew members and trainers. So they're here and I'm happy to see them. And then in the club at APCC, where I did match racing and regatta racing, and then finally come back to Team Vendée Formation Training School. And I spent my first night in 2015 at sea with this team, and I didn't know if it would please me or not. And since then, a lot has been done. What could I tell them? I think I should, I need some time to think about it. What I know is that it's not because you went, you learned in one training program or not another. It's not because you go through Lorient or someplace else that you can have good results and to have the energy and the will. I just chose my orientation. I went where occasions showed up, and I went all the way with all my energy. So when I was in Team Vendée, I put in all my energy to train, to be on the water, and to be well together with the Team Vendée. It's the same with Omia Water family. I was completely on it. Everybody put the energy in the project. I think if I can give a piece of advice is that you just have to succeed, to give the best of yourself, to believe in it. Maybe you can believe in it all your life and not succeed, but at least the minimum is to believe in it. So there's Damien Seguin who has a question. Congratulations, Damien. Damien saying, I have my testimony because I have to tell you the admiration I have for you for this race. I just want to talk about an anecdote. We were neck and neck when we got into the Indian Ocean. And that's where we started speaking together by small messages because we were not really reassured. And it was a real pleasure during this Vendée to be in contact with you. We don't know each other much, but I discovered a great competitor and a wonderful sailor. I think we can be proud of what we achieved, and I'm really happy that we managed to finish. And I think we will cross each other quickly on the sea, maybe navigating together or side by side. I wanted to tell you all the respect that I have for you. And your beard reminds us of a certain Alex Thompson. Thank you, Damien. And I say the same thing about you because it was a pleasure to race against you and to be able to know you. We went through difficult moments, and thanks to WhatsApp, sometimes we could support each other as skippers, and it's something new and it's quite pleasant. I gave everything. I wasn't able to finish to take the lead because at some point you took some distance because you were fed up with sticking with us, but it was wonderful, and congratulations to you because you did a wonderful race. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Congratulations for this Vendée Globe. Thank you.